Imagine a world where criminals transport their millions of dollars across national borders without the notice of banks, governments, and even law enforcement agencies. That world is already there. It is known as the blockchain. However, as it happens, the blockchain is the dream of a criminal and the hidden tool of an investigator. Welcome to Crypto Insights, the podcast where we explore the evolving world of blockchain and cryptocurrency security. I'm Sarah and I'm currently specializing in the field of cryptocurrency and blockchain forensics. Along with myself, there are five of us who share a keen interest in and expertise in this area. Today, we are exploring the integrating world of blockchain forensics, and it is a necessary part of the process of unearthing cryptocriminal activities such as money laundering, ransomware payments, or transactions in the darknet markets.
We'll break this into 6 parts. A quick overview on what blockchain forensics is, the core tool and techniques, a deep dive case study, how investigators de-anonymize wallets, what's next for the field, and a short wrap-up.
Blockchain forensics is basically the investigating and analyzing process of blockchain transactions to detect and trace illegal activities in the crypto world. Because public blockchains are transparent and their ledgers are appended only, investigators can trace back to money flows over time. The transparency and rigidness support evidence chains and reduce the issue of retroactive analysis even after years of crime.
Of course, naturally, transparency is not always identity. Addresses are pseudonymous, but when on-chain patterns are cross-correlated with off-chain information, like exchange KYC information, IP addresses, or open-source intelligence, the activity can generally be attributed to actual entities or individuals. We will show how we do that step by step as we go along.
Let's talk about the basic tools investigators use to follow money on the blockchain. The most straightforward ones are called blockchain explorers. Websites like Etherscan or SoulScan let you see every transaction a wallet makes, how much cryptocurrency it holds, and which smart contracts it interacts with. These sites even add labels to some wallets. For example, they might show if a wallet belongs to an exchange or a known mixing service.
When a case gets complicated, investigators use more advanced tools that draw a map of how funds moves. Services such as Chain Analysis Reactor, TRM Labs, or Nansen can link groups of addresses that seem to be controlled by the same person. This helps them see which wallet touch risky addresses and how stolen crypto jumps across many blockchains.
Another part of the job is reading the computer code of smart contracts. Tools like Tenderly or Slither help investigators find hidden functions that let scammers drain users' money. They can even replay how a hack happened to understand what went wrong.
Criminals often move coins from one blockchain to another or through mixes that scramble transactions. Platforms like Breadcrumbs or Merkle Signs watch bridges and mixes so investigators know when dirty money pops out again.
Investigators don't just look at the blockchain, they also search public websites and social media. By checking domain registrations, forum posts, or GitHub comments, they sometimes connect a crypto address to a real person.
Behind all of this are rules for guessing who controls which wallets. For example, if two addresses spend coins together in one transaction, they might belong to the same owner. Modern tools show exactly which rule was used and how confident the result is. Once investigators finish, they write up their findings so others can follow their steps.
A case study, the 2016 Bitfinex exchange hack. The scammers stole around 120,000 bitcoins. For years, the funds moved through hundreds of mixtures, exchange, and deposits under aliases, but much of it remained visible on chain.
Two suspects were detained for money laundering in February 2022 after the US Department of Justice announced the seizure of approximately 94,000 Bitcoin linked to the hack. A trail that involved mixing prepaid cards, shell accounts, and ultimately spending connected to the suspects' online accounts is detailed in public filings and later analysis. This is for the analyst. You don't have to break cryptography. You are correlated. Long peeled chains were revealed by graph analysis. Mixture output subsequently affected KYC services. Off-chain subponents connected those accounts to actual people, and stolen cloud data included private keys that allowed money to be recovered. The amount that was eventually recovered for victims were highlighted when both defendants entered guilty pleas and were sentenced in 2023.
This case is important from an educational standpoint because it demonstrates end to end tradecraft, from OSINT and legal procedure to clustering and mixture detection. Because of the chain's transparency, investigators were still able to link foes to suspects and seize assets even after years of laundering.
On the blockchain, addresses don't automatically show who owns them. Anyone can see where the money goes, but not the name behind an address. If someone links your wallet to you, all your past transactions become public.
One obvious clue comes from exchanges. Centralized trading platforms ask users for ID. If a suspect sends money through an exchange, law enforcement agencies can process those records and match the address to a person. Companies like Chain Analysis and TRM Labs help cross-check blockchain data with these customers' records.
Investigators also look at patterns. If several addresses move coins together or show the same behavior, like making transactions at the same times or interacting with the same services, they might belong to the same person. This technique, called clustering, has been used to uncover fraud networks.
Sometimes investigators can use internet connection data. Logs from wallet apps or exchange may include IP addresses, giving hints about where a transaction came from. They also check other clues, reused email addresses, shipping details for hardware wallets, or even social media posts.
Tools called mixes and privacy-focused coins make this harder. Mixes blend many transactions together, so it's difficult to see which coins belong to whom. Privacy coins like Monero and Zash hide the amounts and addresses. That's why investigators focus on the points where funds enter or leave these services.
Finally, there's a balance to strike. People use cryptocurrencies for privacy, so investigators shouldn't track everyone. They focus on serious crimes and use legal processes to get data. Criminals keep changing tactics, using more chains and new tricks, so the tools and the laws must keep evolving.
The bottom line is that linking a wallet to a person usually requires combining clues from the blockchain without inside information. Knowing how these methods work and their limits helps us understand both the power and the privacy issues in the crypto world.
As blockchain technology continues to expand into every corner of our digital world, the way we investigate and understand blockchain activity is transforming just as quickly. The future of blockchain forensics isn't just about tracing transactions anymore, it's about utilizing new tools and resources like AI to reveal deeper insights into how digital assets move and evolve.
In the coming years, artificial intelligence will become the driving force behind blockchain forensics, transforming how investigators analyze and interpret blockchain data. AI's ability to process vast amounts of information at incredible speeds will allow systems to both detect irregularities in transactions, catching cyber criminals, and predict emerging threats, preventing these financial crimes in the future. As just mentioned, these AI systems, particularly machine learning models, can predict the likelihood that a particular transaction is suspicious, allowing authorities to take proactive action. However, as AI continues to evolve, it introduces new ethical challenges around transparency and accountability. This same technology, if misused, can also monitor legitimate users and cause major data breaches.
You're absolutely right. The field continues to walk a fine line between protecting society and protecting individual privacy. Tracing illicit funds is crucial, but unchecked surveillance risks breaching civil liberties and personal freedom. And as AI becomes more deeply embedded in forensic systems, questions about bias, accountability, and human oversight will become more common.
Yes, and from a legal standpoint, regulators across the globe are stepping up their oversight of digital assets. Frameworks like the Financial Action Task Force Travel Rule, MICA regulations, and the US Treasury guidelines are paving the way for a new era of transparency. Soon, exchanges and custodians may be required to integrate forensic monitoring systems, and courts could begin relying on blockchain evidence more regularly. These innovations do also raise jurisdictional issues. After all, blockchain doesn't recognize borders, but laws do. Determining has authority to investigate or prosecute blockchain crimes will remain a challenge heading into the future. Looking ahead to 2030 and beyond, blockchain forensics will likely become an essential part of digital governance, balancing innovation, regulation, ethics. The real challenge won't be catching criminals, but building systems that uphold both transparency and trust.
Blockchain forensics has emerged as a crucial discipline in the fight against digital and cross chain crime, offering investigators the tools to trace illicit activity across decentralized networks. Forensic experts can now reconstruct histories and uncover patterns of fraud, money laundering, and ransomware payments that were once untraceable. Modern tools such as clustering analysis, address tagging, and transaction graph analysis have transformed blockchain ledgers into powerful sources of evidence. Our deep dive into the Bitfinex exchange hack highlights how blockchain forensics has matured into a powerful investigative tool capable of unraveling complex digital crime. However, the process of de anonymization continues to raise ethical concerns. And finally, looking into the future, the integration of AI will redefine blockchain forensics, becoming a more advanced and efficient tool for raising legal and ethical issues concerning privacy protection. This has been Crypto Insights. I hope you've all had an informative experience and have a great day, guys.